The year 2025 has just begun, and Simpson's predictions seem to be coming true. The wildfires in Los Angeles, which devastated thousands of acres of land and destroyed entire homes, are one such scene that Simpson had already shown 9 years ago on September 25, 2016. An American town was shown where, for some reason, a fire broke out and the entire city turned into smoke. After the fire was extinguished, the aerial photos of Los Angeles County are astonishingly similar to the scene Simpson had predicted. But how much truth is there to this? What is the secret behind Simpson predicting the future years ago? This is a photo you may have seen many times before, where in 2017, Donald Trump, Saudi King Salman, and the Egyptian president are seen placing their hands on a glowing light globe. While this photo is a puzzle in itself, the interesting part is that Simpson predicted this very scene in 2002. What is the real truth behind it? Is it really true that powerful people have everything planned in advance? And what other predictions from Simpson are likely to come true for 2025? Welcome back to Discover TV's videos once again. The Simpsons is a legendary animated sitcom series, the first episode of which aired when many of us weren't even born on December 17, 1989. Since then, over 700 episodes have been released, and it has now become the longest-running scripted show in history in both the cartoon and drama categories. Initially, this cartoon was very popular among children, but now it has no age limit for its audience. And the main reason for this is the events shown in the show that later turned out to be true in th. Real world. There is a huge list of predictions from Simpson that turned out to be true. In an episode from 1998, Homer Simpson was shown standing in front of a blackboard, writing a mathematical equation and trying to invent something new. At that time, maybe no one even noticed this clip, but 14 years after this episode aired, in 2012, scientists discovered the Higgs boson particle, also called the God particle. The Higgs boson is a particle in the universe that gives everything its mass. Without it, nothing would have weight, and perhaps there would be no stars, planets, or even us. This is why the Higgs boson is called the God particle. The discovery of the God particle was quite astonishing, but even more astonishing is that the equation Homer Simpson wrote on the blackboard in that episode was very close to calculating the mass of the God particle. Moving on, in a March 1995 episode, Lisa is shown in London with the famous Big Ben Tower, behind which you can also see the London Bridge. But in this picture, there is one thing that wasn't there at the time: this cone-shaped skyscraper. How did Simpson know that exactly 17 years later, in the same location, a skyscraper with this exact shape would be built, which is now known as the Shard? The construction of this building started in 2009, 14 years after Simpson's episode. How can such a big coincidence happen? Let's assume it was just a coincidence. Is it also a coincidence that in a 1998 episode, the 20th Century Fox logo was shown, and under it, it said Division of Walt Disney? While at that time, 20th Century Fox was not owned by Walt Disney, this episode aired 21 years before, and in 2019, Walt Disney indeed bought 20th Century Fox Studio. In the year 2000, an episode of Simpson showed Lisa becoming the President of the United States with a very limited budget. During a meeting, Lisa blames the previous president's policies, mentioning President Trump by name. The question here is, at the time this episode aired, Trump was a famous businessman, but there was no chance of him becoming president. This clip of the episode went viral when, 16 years later in 2016, Trump became the president of the United States for the first time. In another scene, Simpson showed Trump coming down an escalator, and exactly this scene repeated in 2015 when he stepped down from the Trump Tower escalator to announce his candidacy for president. In a 1998 episode of Simpson, Lisa showed a list of people she predicted would win the Nobel Prize in the future. If you look closely at this list, one name on it was Banked or Homer. The astonishing part is that this episode aired in 1998, but in 2016, Homer was awarded the Nobel Prize. These are some of the predictions from Simpson that made this animated series very famous. People are amazed to see how accurately Simpson predicted the future years ago. The questions that are in your mind are the same ones in mine as well, but their answers lie in the clever observations of Simpsons writers. In one episode from 1995, Lisa is shown using a holographic phone, where the person on the other side appears as a 3D projection. Meta and other companies have been working on this, and it might be launched in 2025. 30 years ago, Simpson showed this technology humorously, but now, with augmented reality and holography, we may witness 3D calls instead of video calls by 2025. Sometimes, real events happen after Simpson's predictions, and then the show turns these into cartoons. making it seem like they were predicted years ago. For example, the photo you saw at the beginning of the video of the burning globe wasn't something Simpson predicted years ago. It was a real photo from 2017 when Donald Trump, King Salman, and the Egyptian president launched an extremism center, placing their hands on the globe. After this photo went viral, Simpson posted a cartoon version of it, which made people believe it had been predicted in 2002. Since Simpson is so famous for this, people believe it. Similarly, after the real-life escalator scene involving Donald Trump, Simpson recreated it as a cartoon and posted it. The escalator scene was from June 16, 2015, and Simpson posted it in July 2015. But given how many of Simpson's predictions have actually come true, how does this animated series predict the future? The truth is that Simpson's predictions are simply based on careful observations, trends, technology, and politics. This is not some conspiracy theory that powerful people are behind it. The writers of Simpson are very talented, and they carefully analyze the circumstances to make educated guesses about the future. For example, when Simpson predicted smartwatches and video calls, at that time, the only phones available were landlines. However, these ideas had already been floating around, and given the speed of technological advancement, it was not difficult to predict that video calls would eventually happen. As we all know, global warming will one day cause glaciers to melt. So if Simpson predicts such an event and in 10 to 20 years, a major glacier melts, people will say, Simpson predicted this. In addition, the writers of Simpson closely follow trends in technology and politics and exaggerate them in the show, which makes it seem like a prediction when something real happens. We should also not forget that Simpson has over 700 episodes, containing countless ideas and scenes. Out of these, if 10 to 15 scenes match future events, it's not a big deal. In 2000, showing Donald Trump as president was also just a coincidence. At that time, Donald Trump had just entered politics, and Simpson showed him as president as a joke. Similarly, in the 1995 episode, when the cone-shaped building behind Big Ben was shown, the Simpson writers had observed that there would be a future iconic building at that spot. And at that time, cone-shaped designs were futuristic, so they created a cartoon of it, which later matched the real building. In reality, this was not a prediction, but just a coincidence. I hope you will like and share this video on Discover TV. Thank you for your lovely comments. See you in the next exciting video.